Men honored him, women loved him, an empire feared him, and a nation worshipped him.
Long live Mahatma Gandhi!
Gandhi championed Satyagraha, the philosophy of nonviolence, in order to achieve civil rights to Indian citizens suffering under British colonial rule. Satyagraha broke barriers and revolutionized how people fought for their civil rights and freedom across the globe. Mahatma Gandhi, the peaceful protester. By 1915, 300 million Indians bowed before just 100 English invaders. Never in history have so few ruled so many. Gandhi was repulsed by the violence of war and wanted to find a better way to resolve conflicts.
If reason is not enough, violence is not good, what do you do? And he discovers in South Africa for the first time the method of non-violent resistance.
Satyagraha revolution had freed India, transforming the world during the past century.
A runaway knocked on the door of a house in Brunswick, Maine. As fate would have it, he had come upon the new home of Harriet Beecher Stowe and her family. Stowe was aware of the punishment facing anyone who helped a runaway, but she was glad for the opportunity to defy the government. Two sides to every story. The impact of Uncle Tom's Cabin on racial issues in the United States. Slavery had been a contentious issue in the United States from at least the time of its founding.
It was the government telling you had to participate in returning people to enslavement.
Stowe shared her frustrations and the feelings of powerlessness. Her sister-in-law suggested she take action. "If I could use a pen as you can, Hattie, I would write something that would make this whole nation feel what an accursed thing slavery is." Determined to do just that, Stowe set out to write a story to express her anger towards the unsettling legislation. On March 20th, 1852, a publisher released a book on a very difficult subject by an unknown author. The book was Uncle Tom's Cabin, and the subject was anti-slavery. Uncle Tom's Cabin also generated intense social criticism. Stowe's intent was to raise awareness about slavery. However, others argue that she inadvertently reinforced and perpetuated demeaning stereotypes. Even though Uncle Tom's Cabin has a dark cloud hanging over it in terms of racial stereotyping, it effectively communicated the barbaric nature of slavery to the reader, which led to action. It served as a notice that the days of slavery were numbered. Overnight, the book became a bestseller, and Stowe became a celebrity. But to defenders of slavery, she was the devil in petticoats.
I was so good that some years later, the Army decided that I should be on the All-America ping pong team. We were the first Americans to visit the land of China in like a million years or something like that. Somebody said world peace was in our hands, but all I did was play ping pong.
Pause. This actually happened. During the 1971 World Ping Pong Championships, world peace was in fact put in the hands of two paddles and a plastic ball. Kind of. Ping pong diplomacy ended over 2 decades of estrangement between the US and China, and the US's long-standing anti-communistic beliefs were flourishing as communism spread throughout Europe. The flames were fanned even further when the Communist Revolution swept across China. By 1971, the United States and China were looking to open a dialogue with one another. "I was as surprised as I was pleased," President Nixon later wrote in his memoirs. "I'd never expected that the China Initiative would come to fruition in the form of a ping pong team." 51 years ago, at the 31st World Table Tennis Championships in Nagoya, Japan, a simple misstep by an unknowing ping pong player would break the ice between the US and China and become the catalyst for opening the bamboo curtain and for Sino-US rapprochement. As Glenn Cohen himself put it, it truly was a tiny ball that turned the big globe upside down.